This presentation provides a comprehensive exploration of consumer behavior, offering a structured framework to understand how individuals and groups navigate purchasing decisions in modern markets. Designed for marketing students and professionals, it delves into the consumer decision-making process, encompassing stages such as problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase, and post-purchase evaluation. The content examines internal influences like perception, motivation, and attitudes, as well as external factors including culture, social class, and group dynamics, which collectively shape consumer choices. By integrating practical case studies, the presentation illustrates how brands like Apple and Nike apply these concepts to drive engagement and loyalty. It also addresses the transformative impact of emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personalized marketing, blockchain for supply chain transparency, and the metaverse for immersive consumer experiences. Ethical considerations, including data privacy, cultural sensitivity, and sustainable practices, are emphasized to ensure marketing strategies align with consumer expectations and regulatory standards. The presentation aims to equip audiences with actionable insights to develop consumer-centric strategies, navigate global market complexities, and foster trust in an increasingly digital and interconnected world. The primary objective of this presentation is to provide marketing students and professionals with a thorough understanding of consumer behavior, which serves as the cornerstone of effective marketing strategies. The consumer decision-making process, consisting of stages such as problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase, and post-purchase evaluation, offers a structured framework for anticipating and influencing consumer choices across industries like retail, technology, and services. Internal influences, including perception, motivation, attitudes, and personality, determine how consumers process information and make decisions, while external factors such as culture, social class, and group dynamics shape preferences and behaviors. For instance, a consumer's motivation to purchase eco-friendly products may stem from environmental values, while cultural norms influence preferences for specific brands. The presentation also explores the transformative role of digital technologies, such as artificial intelligence, which enables hyper-personalized marketing, and the metaverse, which offers immersive shopping experiences. Ethical considerations are paramount, as marketers must navigate data privacy concerns, avoid manipulative practices, and ensure cultural sensitivity to maintain consumer trust, particularly under regulations like GDPR. Practical case studies, such as Amazon's streamlined e-commerce strategies or Nike's influencer-driven campaigns, illustrate how these concepts are applied in real-world contexts to drive engagement and loyalty. However, marketers face challenges in addressing diverse consumer segments, as cultural, economic, and technological factors vary globally. For example, while AI-driven personalization is effective in developed markets, accessibility issues may limit its impact in emerging economies. By integrating theoretical frameworks with practical insights, this presentation equips audiences to develop consumer-centric strategies that balance innovation with ethical responsibility, fostering long-term trust and brand loyalty in a dynamic, interconnected marketplace. Consumer decision-making varies significantly based on the level of involvement and perceived risk, which directly influences how marketers design strategies across industries such as retail, hospitality, and technology. Habitual decision-making characterizes low involvement, routine purchases, such as buying a daily coffee or household staples, where consumers rely on familiar brands or environmental cues like store displays to make quick choices without extensive deliberation. Limited problem solving involves moderate involvement, as seen when consumers compare mid-range smartphones or select a restaurant, requiring some research to balance factors like price, quality, or convenience. Extensive problem solving, on the other hand, applies to high-involvement decisions, such as purchasing a car or a home, where financial, social, or psychological risks prompt consumers to conduct thorough research and carefully evaluate options. The level of risk, whether financial, costly purchases, social, status-driven choices, or psychological, fear of regret, determines the complexity and duration of the decision process, requiring marketers to tailor their approaches accordingly. For instance, the Starbucks case study illustrates how loyalty programs, mobile apps, and consistent branding transform coffee purchases into habitual behaviors, significantly increasing repeat purchases by leveraging convenience and familiarity. Marketers can design strategies that align with these decision types. For habitual decisions, they can use eye-catching promotions or in-store cues. For limited problem solving, they can provide comparison tools or customer reviews. And for extensive problem solving, they can offer detailed product information, financing options, or test drives. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid manipulative tactics, such as overly aggressive nudging and habitual purchases, which could exploit consumer routines and erode trust. Additionally, challenges arise in addressing diverse consumer segments, as risk perceptions and decision-making styles vary across cultures and demographics. For example, in collectivist societies, social risks may weigh heavier than financial ones, requiring culturally sensitive strategies. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personalized nudging or metaverse-based product trials, enhance marketers' ability to support consumers across these decision types, but they must be implemented transparently to maintain credibility. By understanding and addressing the nuances of decision-making types, marketers can create targeted, ethical strategies that resonate with consumers, foster trust, and drive long-term engagement in competitive markets. The consumer decision-making process provides a structured framework for understanding how individuals or groups select, purchase, use, and dispose of products, services, or experiences to fulfill their needs and desires, making it a critical tool for marketers in industries like technology, retail, and hospitality. This process unfolds across 5 key stages: problem recognition, where consumers identify a need or gap; information search, where they gather relevant data from reviews, ads, or peers; evaluation of alternatives, where they compare options based on criteria like price or quality; the purchase decision itself; and post-purchase evaluation, where satisfaction or dissatisfaction influences future behavior. Internal influences, such as perception, motivation, and attitudes, determine how consumers interpret information, while situational factors, like time constraints or store environments, and social factors, such as peer recommendations or cultural norms, further shape decisions. For example, a consumer purchasing a smartphone may recognize a need due to an outdated device, search online reviews, evaluate brands like Apple or Samsung, make a purchase, and later assess satisfaction based on performance or support. The Apple case study demonstrates how targeted campaigns, leveraging advertisements for awareness, detailed specifications for evaluation, streamlined purchasing through online stores, and robust post-purchase support like warranties, drove significant iPhone sales growth. Marketers can align strategies with each stage to guide consumers effectively. Social media ads spark problem recognition, accessible websites aid information search, comparison tools facilitate evaluation, simplified checkouts encourage purchases, and responsive customer service reduces post-purchase dissonance. Ethical considerations are paramount, as marketers must provide truthful information during searches and transparent policies post-purchase to avoid misleading consumers, which could damage trust and brand reputation. Challenges include addressing diverse consumer journeys, as cultural, economic, or technological factors influence how consumers navigate these stages. For instance, in markets with limited internet access, information search may rely more on word of mouth than digital platforms, requiring tailored approaches. Technologies like artificial intelligence, which powers personalized recommendations, and the metaverse, which offers virtual product trials, enhance marketers' ability to support consumers at each stage. But these tools must be used ethically to avoid privacy violations or manipulative practices. By understanding the decision-making process and its influences, marketers can craft consumer-centric strategies that build trust, enhance satisfaction, and foster long-term loyalty in an increasingly complex and digital marketplace. The consumer decision-making continuum categorizes purchasing decisions based on the level of involvement and perceived risk, providing marketers with a framework to tailor strategies across industries like e-commerce, retail, and automotive. At one end, habitual decision-making involves low involvement, low-risk purchases, such as buying snacks or daily necessities, where consumers rely on familiar brands or environmental cues like packaging and make decisions with minimal effort or deliberation. Limited problem-solving occupies the middle ground, characterized by moderate involvement and low to moderate risk, as seen in decisions like choosing a restaurant or purchasing mid-range electronics, where consumers conduct some research to compare options based on price, quality, or reviews. At the other end, extensive problem-solving applies to high-involvement, high-risk decisions, such as buying a car or a home, where consumers invest significant time and effort in researching options due to substantial financial, social, or psychological risks. The differences across this continuum, stemming from varying levels of risk, effort, and decision time, require marketers to adopt distinct approaches for each type. The Amazon case study illustrates how the one-click ordering system streamlined habitual purchases by reducing friction, significantly boosting conversion rates by making low-involvement decisions effortless. For habitual decisions, marketers can leverage promotions, eye-catching displays, or loyalty programs to reinforce routines, while for limited problem-solving, they can provide comparison tools or customer testimonials to aid decision-making. For extensive problem-solving, detailed product information, financing options, or interactive experiences like test drives are essential to build confidence. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid manipulative cues that exploit habitual buyers' lack of deliberation or overwhelm consumers with biased information during extensive searches, which could erode trust. Challenges arise in addressing diverse consumer segments, as risk perceptions and decision-making styles vary across cultures, demographics, and economic contexts. For example, in some markets, social risks like peer approval may outweigh financial considerations, requiring culturally nuanced strategies. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personalized recommendations and metaverse platforms for virtual product simulations, enhance marketers' ability to support consumers across the continuum, but these must be implemented transparently to avoid ethical pitfalls like data misuse. By aligning strategies with a decision-making continuum, marketers can create targeted, consumer-centric campaigns that foster trust, reduce decision fatigue, and drive engagement in a competitive, dynamic marketplace. Problem recognition marks the initial stage of the consumer decision-making process, where consumers identify a discrepancy between their current situation and a desired or ideal state, prompting them to seek solutions through purchases in industries such as automotive, fashion, or education. This gap can be triggered by various factors, including marketing campaigns that highlight new product benefits, life changes such as starting a family or relocating, or product failures like a malfunctioning device that necessitates replacement. For example, a family may recognize the need for a safer vehicle like an SUV due to growing safety concerns, while a young professional might seek new jeans to align with current fashion trends or pursue further education to advance their career. The Toyota case study demonstrates how targeted marketing campaigns emphasizing safety features and lifestyle benefits, such as spaciousness for family adventures, significantly increased consumer inquiries for new SUV models. Marketers play a pivotal role in stimulating problem recognition by crafting campaigns that resonate with consumer needs, using channels like social media, influencer partnerships, or targeted advertisements to highlight gaps and propose solutions. However, ethical considerations are essential, as marketers must avoid creating artificial needs or exploiting vulnerabilities, such as inducing unnecessary upgrades through fear-based messaging, which could undermine consumer trust and lead to regulatory scrutiny. Challenges include identifying relevant triggers across diverse consumer segments, as needs vary by culture, income level, or life stage. For instance, in emerging markets, Problem recognition for education may focus on affordability, while in developed markets, it may emphasize prestige or career advancement. Technologies like artificial intelligence enable marketers to analyze consumer data and deliver personalized ads that trigger problem recognition, while metaverse platforms allow consumers to virtually experience products, enhancing their perception of need. These tools must be used responsibly to ensure campaigns align with genuine consumer needs rather than manipulative persuasion. By understanding the triggers and context of problem recognition, marketers can develop targeted, ethical strategies that initiate the decision-making process, build consumer trust, and drive engagement in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. Understanding the consumer decision-making process enables marketers to craft targeted strategies that guide consumers from recognizing a need to becoming satisfied customers, a critical approach in industries like e-commerce, technology, and services. In the problem recognition stage, marketers can use targeted advertising, through social media, influencer collaborations, or immersive metaverse campaigns, to highlight consumer needs, such as promoting eco-friendly products to environmentally conscious buyers. During the information search stage, providing accessible and reliable information through websites, customer reviews, or AI-driven chatbots ensures consumers can easily gather data to inform their choices. For example, a consumer researching laptops benefits from detailed specifications and user testimonials on a brand's website. In the evaluation of alternatives stage, marketers can facilitate decision-making by offering comparison tools, such as online configurators for cars or side-by-side product charts, helping consumers weigh options based on price, quality, or features, simplifying the purchase process with seamless transactions, like one-click ordering or flexible financing, reduces friction and encourages conversions, as seen in Amazon's streamlined e-commerce model. Post-purchase, robust customer support, including responsive service, warranties, or loyalty programs, mitigates buyers' remorse and fosters satisfaction, ensuring consumers feel confident in their decisions. Ethical considerations are paramount across all stages, as marketers must avoid misleading information during searches, biased comparisons in evaluations, or inadequate post-purchase support, which could erode trust and harm brand reputation. Challenges include addressing diverse consumer journeys, as cultural, economic, and technological factors influence how consumers navigate these stages. For instance, in markets with limited digital access, information search may rely on offline sources, requiring alternative strategies. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personalized recommendations and metaverse platforms for virtual product trials, enhance marketers' ability to support consumers. But these must be implemented transparently to avoid privacy concerns or manipulative tactics. By aligning strategies with each stage of the decision-making process, marketers can create a seamless, consumer-centric experience that builds trust, enhances satisfaction, and drives long-term loyalty in a dynamic, competitive marketplace. The evaluation of alternatives is a pivotal stage in the consumer decision-making process, where consumers compare product options to narrow down their choices, particularly in high-involvement categories like electronics, automotive, or fashion. During this stage, consumers assess determinant attributes, key features like price, quality, brand reputation, or specific functionalities that most influence their decision. For example, when choosing a smartphone, consumers may prioritize battery life, camera quality, or cost, using evaluative criteria such as performance reviews, brand trust, or warranty terms to compare brands like Samsung or Apple. The Samsung case study illustrates how online comparison tools, which allow consumers to view side-by-side specifications and user ratings, significantly increased smartphone sales by simplifying the evaluation process. Marketers can support this stage by providing clear, accessible information, such as detailed product pages, customer testimonials, or interactive configurators, which help consumers weigh options effectively. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid presenting biased comparisons or withholding negative information, which could mislead consumers and damage trust. Challenges include addressing diverse evaluative criteria across consumer segments, as preferences vary by culture, income, or technological familiarity. For instance, eco-conscious consumers may prioritize sustainability features, while budget-conscious buyers focus on affordability. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for tailored comparison tools and metaverse platforms for virtual product demos, enhance the evaluation process by offering personalized insights and immersive experiences, but these must be implemented transparently to maintain credibility. Marketers face the additional challenge of ensuring accessibility, as not all consumers have equal access to digital tools, particularly in emerging markets where offline comparisons may dominate. By providing robust, ethical support during the evaluation stage, marketers can empower consumers to make informed decisions, reduce decision fatigue, and build trust that drives conversions and fosters loyalty in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. Buyer's remorse, often termed cognitive dissonance, refers to the regret or doubt consumers experience after making a purchase, particularly in high-involvement categories like electronics or low-involvement ones with social implications, such as indulgent snacks. This phenomenon arises from three types of buying conflicts. Approach conflicts, where consumers choose between two desirable options and question their decision. Approach avoidance conflicts, where they weigh a product's benefits against its drawbacks. And avoidance conflicts, where they choose between two undesirable options, leading to dissatisfaction. For example, a consumer may regret buying a candy bar due to health concerns, or choosing one smartphone over another due to perceived missed opportunities. The Hershey's case study demonstrates how guilt-free messaging, emphasizing moderation and quality, combined with responsive customer support, significantly improved satisfaction for candy purchases. Marketers can mitigate buyer's remorse by offering robust post-purchase support, such as hassle-free return policies, extended warranties, or personalized follow-ups, which reassure consumers and reinforce their decision. Ethical considerations are crucial, as marketers must avoid misleading reassurance that obscures product flaws or manipulates consumer emotions, which could erode trust and lead to negative brand perceptions. Challenges include addressing diverse triggers of remorse, as cultural attitudes toward purchases vary. For instance, health-conscious markets may experience greater remorse for indulgent products. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for real-time customer support and metaverse-based community forums, provide new avenues to address remorse by offering immediate assistance and peer reassurance. However, marketers must ensure these tools are accessible and transparent to avoid alienating consumers with limited digital access or trust in technology. By implementing ethical, consumer-centric strategies to reduce buyer's remorse, marketers can enhance satisfaction, foster loyalty, and encourage positive word of mouth, strengthening brand reputation in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. Cognitive dissonance describes the mental distress consumers experience when holding conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes after a purchase, a phenomenon particularly prevalent in high-involvement categories like electric vehicles, luxury goods, or major appliances. This distress can stem from forced compliance, where social or situational pressures lead to purchase. New information, such as negative reviews or competitor offerings, or similar choice options that create doubt about the selected product. For instance, an electric vehicle buyer may experience dissonance if they learn about battery limitations post-purchase, or feel pressured to choose one brand over another. The Tesla case study illustrates how extended warranties, responsive customer service, and transparent communication about vehicle performance significantly reduced return rates. By addressing consumer concerns, marketers can mitigate cognitive dissonance by offering clear return policies, detailed product information, and post-purchase support, such as helplines or community forums, to reassure consumers and validate their decisions. Ethical considerations are paramount, as marketers must avoid misleading claims that mask product shortcomings or manipulate consumer emotions, which could damage trust and brand credibility. Challenges include addressing diverse dissonance triggers across consumer segments, as cultural, economic, or technological factors influence post-purchase perceptions. For example, in markets with high environmental awareness, Dissonance may arise from concerns about a product's sustainability credentials. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personalized support and metaverse platforms for virtual owner communities, enhance marketers' ability to address dissonance by providing immediate assistance and peer validation. However, these tools must be implemented transparently and inclusively to ensure accessibility across diverse markets. By prioritizing ethical, consumer-centric strategies to reduce cognitive dissonance, marketers can enhance satisfaction, foster repeat purchases, and build long-term loyalty, strengthening their brand's position in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. The digital age has transformed consumer decision-making into a collective phenomenon, often described as the hive mind, where social media, user reviews, and crowdsourcing platforms significantly influence purchasing decisions across industries like hospitality, retail, and entertainment. Social media platforms amplify peer opinions, with a substantial percentage of consumers relying on online reviews to inform their choices, making platforms like Instagram or TikTok critical for shaping brand perceptions. Crowdsourcing, through platforms like Yelp or Amazon, allows consumers to access collective opinions, guiding decisions by providing insights into product quality, service reliability, or user experiences. Real-time feedback, enabled by digital connectivity, accelerates decision-making, as consumers can instantly access reviews or influencer recommendations while shopping. The Yelp case study demonstrates how user-generated reviews and ratings significantly increased restaurant visits by enhancing trust and transparency in dining choices. Marketers can leverage these digital tools by encouraging authentic reviews, partnering with influencers, or creating engaging social media content to influence the hive mind. However, ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid promoting fake reviews or manipulating feedback, which could erode consumer trust and invite regulatory scrutiny. Challenges include managing misinformation, as false or biased reviews can mislead consumers and damage brand credibility. Additionally, cultural differences in how consumers engage with digital platforms require tailored strategies. For instance, review platforms may be less influential in markets with strong word-of-mouth traditions. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for sentiment analysis and metaverse-based review forums, enhance marketers' ability to monitor and leverage consumer feedback, but these must be implemented transparently to maintain credibility. By navigating the complexities of the digital hive mind with ethical, consumer-centric strategies, marketers can harness collective opinions to build trust, drive engagement, and foster loyalty in an interconnected, digital marketplace. Perception is the process by which consumers select, organize, and interpret information from the external environment, playing a fundamental role in shaping preferences and purchasing decisions across industries such as retail, food, and fashion. This process involves three key factors: exposure, where consumers encounter stimuli like advertisements or product packaging; attention, where they focus on relevant stimuli based on interest or need; and interpretation, where they assign meaning to these stimuli based on prior experiences or cultural context. For example, vibrant packaging may capture attention in a crowded store, while a brand's logo or slogan shapes how consumers interpret its value. Perception directly influences brand choices, as consumers are drawn to familiar, appealing, or trustworthy stimuli. The Coca-Cola case study illustrates how consistent visual cues, such as its iconic red and white logo and nostalgic advertising, significantly increased brand recall by reinforcing positive associations. Marketers can shape perception through strategic use of sensory cues, targeted advertisements, or immersive experiences, but ethical considerations are essential to avoid manipulative stimuli that mislead consumers, such as exaggerated claims or deceptive visuals, which could erode trust and harm brand reputation. Challenges include addressing diverse perceptual filters across consumer segments, as cultural or demographic factors influence how stimuli are interpreted. For instance, colors like red may signify excitement in some cultures but danger in others. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for optimized ad exposure and metaverse platforms for immersive brand experiences, enhance marketers' ability to shape perception, but these must be implemented inclusively to ensure accessibility across markets. By designing campaigns that align with consumer perceptual processes, marketers can create compelling, ethical strategies that drive brand preference, enhance engagement, and foster loyalty in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. Motivation is the internal drive that activates goal-oriented behavior, influencing consumer purchasing decisions across industries like cosmetics, automotive, and technology by aligning products with specific needs or desires. Motivations can be functional, addressing practical needs like durability or affordability, aesthetic, driven by beauty or sensory appeal, or social, motivated by status, belonging, or peer approval. For example, consumers may purchase eco-friendly cosmetics from brands like Lush to align with environmental values, buy luxury cars to signal social status, or choose fitness products to fulfill health-related goals. The Lush case study demonstrates how emphasizing ethical sourcing and aesthetic appeal, such as sustainable packaging and vibrant product designs, significantly increased sales by resonating with eco-conscious consumers. Marketers can leverage motivation by designing campaigns that align products with these drivers, such as highlighting functionality for budget-conscious buyers or social benefits for aspirational consumers. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid manipulative appeals that exploit emotional or social desires, such as inducing unnecessary purchases through status-driven messaging, which could undermine trust. Challenges include addressing diverse motivational drivers across consumer segments, as cultural or economic factors shape priorities. For instance, functional motivations may dominate in emerging markets, while aesthetic ones prevail in affluent ones. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for analyzing motivational triggers and metaverse platforms for showcasing aesthetic product experiences, enhance marketers' ability to align with consumer needs. But these must be used transparently to maintain credibility. By understanding and targeting motivational drivers, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with diverse audiences, foster brand alignment, and drive long-term loyalty in a competitive, need-driven marketplace. Maslow's hierarchy of needs provides a foundational framework for understanding consumer motivations by categorizing needs into 5 levels: physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization, each influencing purchasing decisions in industries like food, healthcare, and luxury goods. Physiological needs, such as food, water, or shelter, drive demand for essential products like groceries or housing, as consumers prioritize survival. Safety needs fuel purchases of insurance, security systems, or reliable vehicles, emphasizing protection and stability. Love and belonging needs inspire purchases of community-driven products, such as social media platforms or family-oriented services, while esteem needs attract consumers to luxury goods or status symbols that enhance self-worth. Self-actualization, the highest level, drives demand for products or services like education or wellness programs that support personal growth and fulfillment. The Nestle case study illustrates how promoting the nutritional benefits of food products, targeting physiological needs, significantly increased market share by addressing basic consumer priorities. Marketers can align products with these need levels through targeted campaigns, such as emphasizing safety features for vehicles or community benefits for social platforms, but ethical considerations are essential to avoid exploiting basic needs, particularly in vulnerable markets, which could lead to distrust or regulatory issues. Challenges include addressing diverse need priorities across cultures, as collectivist societies may prioritize belonging over esteem, while individualistic ones focus on self-actualization. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for segmenting need-based audiences and metaverse platforms for showcasing self-actualization experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target these needs. But accessibility and transparency are critical to ensure inclusivity. By aligning strategies with Maslow's hierarchy, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with diverse priorities, foster trust, and drive engagement in a competitive, need-driven marketplace. Maslow's hierarchy of needs offers a practical framework for aligning marketing strategies with consumer priorities, enabling marketers to target specific need levels across industries like food, insurance, and luxury goods. Physiological needs drive demand for essentials, such as food products, housing, or healthcare, as consumers prioritize survival and basic sustenance. Safety needs fuel purchases of products like insurance policies, home security systems, or reliable vehicles, emphasizing protection and stability. Love and belonging needs inspire engagement with community-driven brands, such as social media platforms or family-oriented services, which foster connection and inclusion. Esteem needs attract consumers to luxury goods, designer fashion, or premium electronics that signal status and enhance self-worth. Self-actualization, the pinnacle of the hierarchy, drives demand for education, fitness programs, or wellness services that support personal growth and fulfillment. Marketers can design campaigns that resonate with these levels, for instance, promoting nutritional benefits for food products, safety features for vehicles, or community engagement for social platforms. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid manipulative tactics that exploit basic needs, such as inducing fear to sell safety products, which could erode trust and harm brand reputation. Challenges include addressing diverse need priorities across global markets, as cultural or economic factors shape how consumers prioritize these levels. For example, in collectivist cultures, love and belonging may take precedence over esteem, requiring tailored messaging. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for need-based segmentation and metaverse platforms for immersive self-actualization experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target these needs. But accessibility and transparency are essential to ensure inclusivity across diverse consumer segments. By aligning products with Maslow's hierarchy, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with core priorities, foster trust, and drive long-term loyalty in a dynamic, competitive marketplace. Learning, defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior resulting from experience or information, plays a critical role in shaping consumer habits and brand loyalty across industries like fashion, technology, and retail. This process manifests through various types: classical conditioning, where consumers associate brands with positive stimuli, such as Nike's logo with athletic achievement; operant conditioning, where rewards like discounts or loyalty points reinforce purchase behaviors; cognitive learning, where consumers process information from reviews or ads to form preferences; and observational learning, where they mimic behaviors of peers or influencers. For example, consumers may learn to prefer a brand through repeated positive experiences or by observing influencer endorsements. The Nike case study illustrates how consistent branding, motivational campaigns, and community engagement significantly increased repeat purchases by reinforcing positive associations with fitness and aspiration. Marketers can leverage learning by designing campaigns that use rewards, consistent messaging, or influencer partnerships to shape consumer habits, but ethical considerations are essential to avoid manipulative reinforcement, such as excessive nudging that exploits consumer routines, which could erode trust. Challenges include sustaining learning across diverse markets, as cultural contexts influence how consumers process information or adopt behaviors. For instance, in markets with strong community ties, observational learning through peer influence may be more effective than individual rewards. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for tailored campaigns and metaverse platforms for immersive brand experiences, enhance marketers' ability to reinforce learning. But these must be implemented transparently to maintain credibility. By understanding and applying learning principles, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that foster lasting habits, build brand loyalty, and drive engagement in a competitive, dynamic marketplace. Attitudes, defined as lasting evaluations of products, brands, or issues, significantly influence consumer purchase intentions and brand perceptions across industries like cosmetics, food, and services. Attitudes comprise three components: affect, the emotional response to a brand, such as feeling inspired by a campaign; cognition, the beliefs or knowledge about a product, like trust in its quality; and behavior, the actions taken, such as purchasing or recommending the brand. For example, A consumer's positive emotional response to a brand's ethical stance may drive loyalty, while negative beliefs about quality could deter purchases. The Dove case study illustrates how body-positive campaigns, emphasizing inclusivity and self-esteem, significantly increased brand affinity by reshaping consumer attitudes toward beauty standards. Marketers can influence attitudes through emotional advertising, informative content, or behavior-driven incentives, but ethical considerations are critical to avoid manipulative messaging that exploits emotions or misleads consumers, which could damage trust and brand reputation. Challenges include addressing diverse attitudinal drivers across consumer segments, as cultural or demographic factors shape emotional and cognitive responses differently. For instance, collectivist cultures may prioritize community-driven attitudes, while individualistic ones focus on personal benefits. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for sentiment analysis and metaverse platforms for immersive emotional campaigns, enhance marketers' ability to shape attitudes, but these must be used transparently to maintain credibility. By designing campaigns that align with the affective, cognitive, and behavioral components of attitudes, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that foster positive perceptions, drive purchase intentions, and build long-term loyalty in a competitive, consumer-driven marketplace. Personality, defined as the set of unique psychological characteristics that consistently influence how consumers respond to their environment, plays a significant role in shaping brand preferences and purchasing decisions across industries like beverages, fashion, and automotive. Traits such as adventurousness, sophistication, or practicality drive consumers to align with brands that reflect their personality, such as choosing Red Bull for its energetic image or a luxury brand like Rolex for its prestige. The Red Bull case study illustrates how branding that emphasizes adventure and high-energy lifestyles significantly increase loyalty among thrill-seeking consumers. Marketers can target specific personality traits through tailored campaigns, such as action-oriented ads for adventurous consumers or elegant campaigns for sophisticated ones. But ethical considerations are essential to avoid stereotypical targeting that alienates segments or reinforces harmful biases. Challenges include balancing niche targeting with broad market appeal, as overly specific campaigns may exclude potential customers, particularly in diverse global markets where personality traits manifest differently across cultures. For example, adventurousness may be expressed through extreme sports in some markets but through travel or exploration in others. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for personality-based segmentation and metaverse platforms for immersive brand experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target specific traits, but these must be implemented inclusively to ensure accessibility and avoid privacy concerns. By understanding consumer personalities and aligning campaigns with their psychological characteristics, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with target audiences, foster brand loyalty, and drive engagement in a competitive, personality-driven marketplace. Age and family life cycle are critical demographic factors that influence consumer behavior, shaping product preferences and purchasing priorities across industries like entertainment, retail, and travel. Age impacts preferences, with younger consumers gravitating toward trendy, innovative products like the latest gadgets or fashion, while older consumers often prioritize quality, durability, or health-related products. The family life cycle, encompassing stages like young singles, families with children, and empty nesters, drives distinct purchasing priorities. For instance, families may focus on child-friendly products like toys or educational services, while empty nesters may invest in travel or luxury goods. The Disney case study illustrates how family-targeted marketing, emphasizing magical experiences for children and parents, significantly increased theme park visits by appealing to the family life cycle stage. Marketers can tailor strategies to these segments by designing age-specific campaigns or life stage-relevant promotions, such as youth-oriented social media ads or travel packages for retirees. Ethical considerations are essential, as marketers must avoid exploitative targeting, particularly of vulnerable groups like children or seniors, which could lead to distrust or regulatory issues. Challenges include addressing diverse needs across global markets, as family structures and age-related priorities vary culturally. For example, extended families in some regions may influence collective purchasing decisions. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for demographic segmentation and metaverse platforms for family-oriented virtual experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target these segments. But accessibility and inclusivity are critical to ensure broad reach. By aligning strategies with age and family life cycle dynamics, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with specific demographics, foster engagement, and drive loyalty in a competitive, diverse marketplace. Lifestyle, defined as a pattern of living based on activities, interests, and opinions, AIOs, significantly influences consumer behavior by shaping preferences and purchasing decisions in industries like fashion, travel, and fitness. Psychographics, which group consumers based on psychological and behavioral similarities, allow marketers to target specific lifestyle segments, such as eco-conscious consumers, fitness enthusiasts, or adventure seekers. For example, consumers who prioritize sustainability may choose brands like Patagonia for their environmentally friendly products, while fitness-focused individuals may opt for activewear brands. The Patagonia case study illustrates how branding that promotes a sustainable, outdoor-focused lifestyle significantly increased sales by resonating with eco-conscious consumers. Marketers can leverage psychographics to design campaigns that align with specific lifestyles, such as adventure-themed ads for outdoor enthusiasts or wellness-focused promotions for health-conscious consumers. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid greenwashing or inauthentic lifestyle portrayals, which could erode trust and harm brand credibility. Challenges include addressing diverse lifestyle preferences across global markets, as cultural or economic factors shape how consumers express their interests. For instance, sustainability may manifest as minimalism in some regions but as eco-tourism in others. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for psychographic analysis and metaverse platforms for immersive lifestyle experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target these segments. But transparency and inclusivity are essential to ensure broad appeal. By aligning strategies with consumer lifestyles, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with specific interests, foster brand loyalty, and drive engagement in a competitive, lifestyle-driven marketplace. Situational factors, encompassing the physical environment, time constraints, and sensory cues, significantly influence consumer behavior by shaping the context in which purchasing decisions are made, particularly in industries like retail, hospitality, and food. The physical environment, such as store layout, lighting, or ambience, impacts consumer perceptions and purchase likelihood. For example, a well-designed store with inviting displays can encourage impulse buys. Time poverty, where consumers face time constraints, drives demand for convenient solutions like one-click ordering or fast delivery, as seen in e-commerce platforms like Amazon. Sensory marketing, which engages senses like sight, sound, or smell, enhances consumer experiences by creating memorable impressions, such as using signature scents in retail stores. The Abercrombie case study illustrates how sensory marketing, leveraging strategic lighting, music, and scents, significantly increase store visits by creating a distinctive and engaging shopping environment. Marketers can optimize situational factors by designing appealing store layouts, streamlining purchase processes, or incorporating sensory elements in campaigns. But ethical considerations are essential to avoid overwhelming consumers with excessive stimuli or exploiting time pressures, which could lead to distrust or decision fatigue. Challenges include adapting to diverse situational contexts across global markets, as cultural preferences for store environments or time sensitivity vary. For instance, sensory cues like music may resonate differently in collectivist versus individualistic cultures. Emerging technologies, such as augmented reality for enhanced store experiences and metaverse platforms for virtual sensory marketing, offer new ways to engage consumers. But accessibility and transparency are critical to ensure inclusivity. By leveraging situational factors ethically, marketers can create consumer-centric experiences that enhance engagement, drive purchases, and foster loyalty in a competitive, Dynamic marketplace. Disruptive technologies, including artificial intelligence, blockchain, the metaverse, and 5G, are fundamentally reshaping consumer behavior by transforming how marketers engage with audiences across industries like retail, entertainment, and services. Artificial intelligence enables hyper-personalized marketing through data-driven recommendations, allowing brands to tailor offerings to individual preferences, such as suggesting products based on browsing history. Blockchain enhances transparency in supply chains, reassuring consumers about product authenticity and ethical sourcing, which is particularly valuable for luxury goods or sustainable brands. The metaverse offers immersive shopping experiences, enabling consumers to virtually try products or explore brand environments, while 5G facilitates real-time engagement through seamless connectivity and instant feedback. The Nike case study illustrates how a metaverse-based virtual sneaker store significantly increased consumer interaction. By offering an innovative, engaging shopping experience, marketers can leverage these technologies to enhance personalization, transparency, and interactivity, but ethical considerations are critical to avoid privacy violations, such as excessive data collection, or exclusionary practices that limit access to tech-savvy consumers. Challenges include overcoming technical barriers, such as the digital divide, and addressing global variations in technology adoption, as some markets may lack infrastructure for 5G or metaverse platforms. For example, while developed markets embrace AI-driven personalization, emerging markets may rely on traditional channels, requiring hybrid strategies. Marketers must also ensure accessibility and inclusivity to avoid alienating consumers with limited technological access. By integrating disruptive technologies ethically, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that enhance engagement, build trust, and drive loyalty in a rapidly evolving, technology-driven marketplace. Social influences, encompassing reference groups, opinion leaders, family, and social media, play a pivotal role in shaping consumer behavior by guiding preferences and purchasing decisions across industries like fashion, technology, and food. Reference groups, such as peers, colleagues, or online communities, influence consumers by providing norms and expectations, encouraging alignment with group values. For example, a fitness group may inspire purchases of activewear. Opinion leaders, characterized by high interest and expertise in a product category, shape decisions by sharing knowledge or endorsements, often as early adopters or influencers. Family influences household purchases, from groceries to vacations, as members collectively decide based on shared needs. Social media amplifies these influences by providing platforms for peer reviews, influencer recommendations, and viral trends, with a significant percentage of consumers trusting online opinions. The Adidas case study illustrates how influencer-driven social media campaigns targeting younger audiences significantly increased sales by leveraging authentic endorsements. Marketers can harness social influences through community engagement, influencer partnerships, or family-oriented campaigns, but ethical considerations are essential to avoid manipulative tactics, such as inauthentic influencer endorsements or peer pressure, which could erode trust. Challenges include addressing diverse social dynamics across global markets, as family structures or influencer credibility vary culturally. For instance, collectivist cultures may prioritize family-driven decisions, while individualistic ones emphasize peer influence. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for influencer analytics and metaverse-based community events, enhance marketers' ability to leverage social influences, but transparency and authenticity are critical to maintain credibility. By aligning strategies with social influences, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with group dynamics, foster trust, and drive engagement in a socially connected marketplace. Culture, defined as the shared values, beliefs, customs, and tastes of a group, profoundly influences consumer behavior by shaping preferences, purchasing decisions, and brand perceptions across industries like food, fashion, and entertainment. Cultural rituals, such as weddings, holidays, or daily traditions, drive demand for specific products, such as ceremonial attire or festive foods. requiring marketers to align strategies with these practices. For example, consumers in a culture that values communal dining may prefer family-sized food products, while those in individualistic cultures may prioritize convenience. The McDonald's case study illustrates how customizing menus to align with local tastes, such as offering vegetarian options in India or rice-based dishes in Asia, significantly increased sales by resonating with cultural preferences. Marketers can develop culturally sensitive strategies by incorporating local traditions, symbols, or values into campaigns, but ethical considerations are critical to avoid cultural appropriation or stereotyping, which could alienate consumers and harm brand reputation. Challenges include navigating global cultural differences, as values and rituals vary widely across regions, requiring localized approaches that balance consistency with relevance. For instance, a campaign effective in one culture may be irrelevant or offensive in another, necessitating deep cultural understanding. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for cultural analysis and metaverse platforms for virtual cultural experiences, enhance marketers' ability to tailor strategies. But accessibility and sensitivity are essential to ensure inclusivity. By aligning campaigns with cultural values and rituals, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with diverse audiences, foster trust, and drive engagement in a globalizing, culturally diverse marketplace. Subcultures and microcultures are groups within larger cultures that share distinct beliefs, characteristics, or activities, significantly influencing consumer behavior in niche markets like entertainment, gaming, and fashion. Subcultures, such as fitness enthusiasts or eco-conscious consumers, share broad characteristics that shape preferences for specific products, like activewear or sustainable goods. Microcultures, like fans of the Barbie movie or Fortnite players, are more specific, focusing on shared activities or interests, such as collecting themed merchandise or engaging in online gaming communities. The Mattel case study illustrates how targeted campaigns for Barbie movie enthusiasts, leveraging nostalgia and cultural relevance, significantly increased merchandise sales by resonating with this microculture. Marketers can target these groups with tailored campaigns, such as niche social media ads or community-driven events, but ethical considerations are essential to avoid stereotyping or exploiting subcultural identities, which can alienate consumers and harm brand credibility. Challenges include identifying and reaching diverse subcultures and microcultures across global markets, as their interests and expressions vary culturally. For instance, gaming communities may prioritize different games or platforms in different regions. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for analyzing subcultural trends and metaverse platforms for hosting virtual fan events, enhance marketers' ability to engage these groups. But authenticity and inclusivity are critical to maintain credibility. By understanding the unique characteristics of subcultures and microcultures, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with niche audiences, foster brand loyalty, and drive engagement in a fragmented, interest-driven marketplace. Consumerism, defined as a social movement aimed at protecting consumers from harmful business practices, has become a powerful force shaping purchasing decisions across industries like cosmetics, food, and retail. Increasing awareness of social and environmental consequences drives consumers to prioritize ethical brands, with a significant percentage favoring products that align with values like sustainability, fair trade, or social responsibility. For example, consumers may choose cruelty-free cosmetics or organic foods to support environmental or ethical causes. The Body Shop case study illustrates how promoting cruelty-free and sustainable products significantly increased consumer loyalty by aligning with these values. Marketers can leverage consumerism by adopting transparent practices, such as clear labeling of sustainable sourcing or partnerships with ethical organizations. But ethical considerations are critical to avoid greenwashing or to making unsubstantiated claims, which could erode trust and invite regulatory scrutiny. Challenges include managing consumer criticism, particularly on digital platforms where negative feedback can spread rapidly, requiring proactive engagement and transparency. Cultural differences also pose challenges, as consumer priorities vary. For instance, environmental concerns may dominate in some markets, while labor rights take precedence in others. Emerging technologies, such as blockchain for transparent supply chains and artificial intelligence for monitoring consumer sentiment, enhance marketers' ability to align with consumerism, but these must be implemented transparently to maintain credibility. By embracing consumerism and prioritizing ethical practices, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that resonate with socially conscious audiences, foster trust, and drive loyalty in a competitive, values-driven marketplace. Social class, defined as the rank or standing of groups within society based on factors like income, education, occupation, and family background, significantly influences consumer behavior by shaping purchasing power and brand preferences across industries such as luxury goods, retail, and automotive. Higher social classes often gravitate toward premium brands that signal status, such as designer fashion or luxury vehicles, while lower classes may prioritize affordability and functionality. The Louis Vuitton case study illustrates how emphasizing exclusivity and prestige in branding significantly increased brand equity by appealing to affluent consumers. Marketers can target class-specific segments by designing campaigns that align with their values and aspirations, such as luxury ads for upper classes or value-driven promotions for middle or lower classes. Ethical considerations are critical, as marketers must avoid exploitative, aspirational marketing that induces unnecessary purchases or reinforces class divisions, which could alienate consumers and harm brand reputation. Challenges include balancing exclusivity with inclusivity, as overly niche targeting may exclude potential customers, particularly in diverse global markets where class structures vary. For example, in some cultures, social class may be defined more by community status than income, requiring nuanced strategies. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for class-based segmentation and metaverse platforms for virtual luxury showrooms, enhance marketers' ability to target specific classes, but accessibility and transparency are essential to ensure inclusivity. By aligning strategies with social class dynamics, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with specific segments, foster brand loyalty, and drive engagement in a stratified, competitive marketplace. Group membership, encompassing primary, family, secondary, clubs or organizations, and aspirational, desired groups, reference groups, significantly influences consumer behavior by shaping preferences, identity, and purchasing decisions across industries like automotive, fashion, and technology. Reference groups provide norms and expectations that guide consumer choices, such as a fitness club encouraging activewear purchases or an aspirational group inspiring luxury brand adoption. The Harley-Davidson case study illustrates how fostering rider communities through events and branded experiences significantly increased consumer loyalty by reinforcing a sense of belonging and identity. Marketers can leverage group membership by designing community-driven campaigns, such as loyalty programs, social media groups, or branded events, that align with group values and dynamics. Ethical considerations are essential, as marketers must avoid exclusionary tactics that alienate non-members or manipulative strategies that exploit group pressures, which could erode trust. Challenges include addressing diverse group influences across global markets, as family structures, social clubs, or aspirational ideals vary culturally. For instance, collectivist cultures may emphasize family-driven decisions, while individualistic ones focus on aspirational groups. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for analyzing group dynamics and metaverse platforms for virtual community events, enhance marketers' ability to engage reference groups. But authenticity and inclusivity are critical to maintain credibility. By aligning strategies with group membership dynamics, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with social identities, foster loyalty, and drive engagement in a socially connected marketplace. Opinion leaders, characterized by their high interest, expertise, and early adoption in a product category, play a pivotal role in shaping consumer decisions by sharing knowledge, endorsements, or experiences across industries like technology, fashion, and fitness. As trusted voices, they influence peers through reviews, social media posts, or personal recommendations, often driving trends as early adopters of new products. For example, a fitness influencer may sway followers to purchase a specific brand of workout gear. The GoPro case study illustrates how partnering with adventure influencers for authentic endorsements significantly increased sales by leveraging their credibility among enthusiast communities. Marketers can harness opinion leaders through influencer marketing campaigns, brand ambassador programs, or targeted partnerships, but ethical considerations are critical to ensure authenticity and avoid paid endorsements that lack transparency, which could erode consumer trust and invite regulatory scrutiny. Challenges include identifying credible opinion leaders across diverse markets, as influence dynamics vary culturally. For instance, local influencers may hold more sway in some regions than global celebrities. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for influencer analytics and metaverse platforms for virtual endorsement events, enhance marketers' ability to leverage opinion leaders. But transparency and authenticity are essential to maintain credibility. By aligning strategies with opinion leaders' influence, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with target audiences, foster trust, and drive engagement in a competitive, influencer-driven marketplace. Gender roles, defined as societal expectations regarding appropriate attitudes, behaviors, and opportunities, significantly influence consumer behavior by shaping preferences and purchasing decisions in industries like fashion, cosmetics, and sports. Historically, products were often gender-typed, with specific items marketed exclusively to one gender, but evolving norms have shifted toward gender inclusivity, challenging traditional assumptions and encouraging brands to adopt neutral or inclusive approaches. For example, consumers increasingly favor brands that promote gender-neutral clothing or inclusive beauty products. The Nike case study illustrates how gender-inclusive campaigns, emphasizing universal themes like athleticism and empowerment, significantly increased brand affinity by resonating with diverse gender identities. Marketers can target evolving preferences by designing campaigns that avoid traditional gender stereotypes and embrace inclusivity, but ethical considerations are critical to avoid tokenism or superficial inclusivity, which can alienate consumers and harm brand credibility. Challenges include navigating diverse gender perceptions across global markets, as cultural attitudes toward gender roles vary widely. For instance, some regions may embrace inclusivity, while others adhere to traditional norms. Emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence for analyzing gender-based preferences and metaverse platforms for showcasing inclusive brand experiences, enhance marketers' ability to target diverse audiences. But inclusivity and transparency are essential to ensure broad appeal. By aligning strategies with evolving roles, marketers can create consumer-centric campaigns that resonate with modern gender dynamics, foster trust, and drive engagement in a competitive, inclusive marketplace. This presentation has provided a comprehensive exploration of consumer behavior, offering a robust framework for developing effective marketing strategies that resonate with diverse audiences across industries like retail, technology, and services. Consumer behavior is driven by a complex interplay of internal influences, such as perception, motivation, attitudes, and personality, which shape how consumers process information and make choices, and external influences, including culture, social class, group dynamics, and opinion leaders, which guide preferences and behaviors. The consumer decision-making process, encompassing problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase, and post-purchase evaluation, provides a structured approach for marketers to anticipate and influence consumer choices. Practical case studies, such as Apple's targeted iPhone campaigns, Nike's influencer-driven strategies, and Patagonia's eco-lifestyle branding, illustrate how these concepts are applied to drive engagement and loyalty. Emerging digital trends, including artificial intelligence for hyper-personalized marketing, blockchain for transparent supply chains, and the metaverse for immersive consumer experiences, are transforming how brands connect with audiences. With a significant percentage of consumers engaging digitally, ethical considerations, such as ensuring data privacy, avoiding manipulative tactics, and embracing cultural sensitivity, are paramount to building trust and maintaining brand credibility in a regulated and socially conscious marketplace. Challenges include navigating global diversity, as cultural, economic, and technological factors shape consumer behavior differently across markets, requiring tailored strategies that balance consistency with relevance. Looking to the future, marketers must prioritize hyper-personalization, sustainability, and inclusivity to meet evolving consumer expectations, leveraging technologies like AI and the metaverse while ensuring ethical practices. By integrating these insights, marketers can create consumer-centric strategies that foster trust, enhance satisfaction, and drive long-term loyalty in a dynamic, competitive, and increasingly digital marketplace. The references listed in this presentation are foundational texts in consumer behavior and marketing, providing a robust theoretical and practical basis for the concepts discussed. These sources offer detailed frameworks for understanding the consumer decision-making process, internal and external influences, and the impact of emerging technologies on market dynamics. Widely adopted in academic and professional settings, they provide credible insights into how marketers can develop strategies that resonate with diverse consumer segments. By grounding the presentation in these authoritative works, it ensures relevance and encourages further exploration of consumer behavior theories, enabling students and professionals to apply these principles in real-world marketing contexts with confidence and ethical responsibility.